Yeah. So we say the communication formula, you know. So we start out with the cars, which is I and I. Yeah. And we travel over a certain distance through the internet and reach you the effect. When it reach you the effect now, I communicate to you my intention. You understand? That is what the cause me for want to communicate with you in the first place. So I'm saying right now, me that bunk some tune to get your attention. You understand? So first video kind of short. I'm like the phone I get full. Yeah, so me get your intention now, and me get your attention, and me communicate my intention to you now. One for this, make sure that you make a copy of it, so like you duplicate it, you understand? So, you know, say a dog, we are talking about a dog, and it's not sheep, rovers. So that now would have faster understanding, and then you have successful communication. Later on now we can move on to the communication cycle, you understand? But right now we are concentrating on the formula itself. And when you catch that, so leave your comment them in the section. Leave some comment in the comment section. So maybe that's how we can entertain the two-way communication. But I'm not really stay too long. Feel like I'm gonna make the tune bounce in the foreground. You catch me? So I'm gonna read something off our website, and it's off the World Economic Forum website. You understand? I think it's an article written by Carl Schwab, and the title of it is The Fourth Industrial Revolution, What It Means, How to Respond. Now, I have a race with this thing. I can look like 11 minutes it can run. So, that is my intention today, to communicate to you about what? The Fourth Industrial Revolution. So, me get you some, get your attention. You the effect, I got your attention because I am the cause. I am on started. And I start the conversation, communicate to you over the internet. Yeah, you catch it on your phone, wherever, over the social media. You the effect receive it, you understand? And then we communicate my intention, which is to talk about the fourth industrial revolution, what it means, and how to respond. So I try to get your attention by playing some music. Some music still playing in the background, so I say, alright, we get a backdrop. Yeah, so I communicate that to you now, my intention no more, you have to duplicate what I say. So that means that when we done talk about it, is the fourth industrial revolution. You know, so we just done talk about. Yeah, you the effect. No, say me the cause introduce my intention to you. Yeah. And me get your attention about it before me start talking to you about it by playing you some music. So when you duplicate it now, you get a full understanding of the subject matter. Hopefully, that's how we do it. The complete successful communication. So here it go. I'm turn it down a little bit more. So Carl Schwab's article on the World Economic Forum, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, what it means, how to respond. We stand on the brink of a technological revolution that will fundamentally alter the way we live, work, and relate to one another. In its scale, scope, and complexity, the transformation will be unlike anything humankind has experienced before. We do not yet know just how it will unfold, but one thing is clear. The response to it must be integrated and comprehensive, involving all stakeholders of the global polity, from the public and private sectors to academia and civil society. So that's what the man I said now. So well then, it's like, I don't know. Let me see how. Okay, this article was written on the 14th of January 2016. So you know, say well, what that now? 6 years ago that. So this thing, the uncertainty that it was speaking about, them kind of close that gap there. You understand? You're dealing, but it say it's gonna impact all spheres of life basically. So that means it's a thing whereby You have to interact with it somehow. You know, this thing where some people come and say, alright then, they must segregate themselves and keep themselves to the corner and them thing there. This time the man must say, boom, yeah, this thing I reach out global. So we say, it has speak about the fourth industrial revolution. So make we give a recap on what is an industrial revolution, the first, when it took place, how it was, what it consisted of, and all these things. So now we reach at the fourth. So all right, the first industrial revolution used water and steam power to mechanize production. The second used electric power to create mass production. The third used electronics and information technology to automate production. Now a fourth industrial revolution is building on the third, the digital revolution that has been occurring since the middle of the last century. It is characterized by a fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. So the man said blurring the lines. That means that you can't hardly make a difference between it. And basically my interpretation of that, digital platforms, entities, or whatever you want, or technologies will be merged with the human body. That is my understanding of it. So, as we say, through the basis of the communication formula, I, Father Joe, the ghetto diplomat, am the cause. Yes, we're communicating over a great distance through the internet, and you who shall receive this information is the effect. You understand how we are dealing? Yeah. So now I'm gonna communicate my intention to you, but before that, I need to get your attention. I tried getting your attention with some music, ease your mind and make you start focus my work. Go on. So when we get your attention, then we can start to communicate my intention, which is to talk about the fourth industrial revolution. So by the end of this now, you're supposed to duplicate that. You're not gonna say that Father Joe was on the internet talking about rice and peas and chicken. I was talking about the fourth industrial revolution, and that is what you must be able to say. So now by me talking about it, after you duplicate it, you're supposed to understand what I really mean by the fourth industrial revolution. And I'm being assisted by this article written by Carl Schwab from 14th of January 2016. So be advised, these things have improved upon what they're saying now, and obviously it's not a forecast that's happening now. It's definitely taking place. Yeah. So what's so special about the fourth industrial revolution? So there are three reasons why today's transformations represent not merely a prolongation of the third industrial revolution, but rather the arrival of a fourth and distinct one: velocity, scope, and systems impact. The speed of current breakthroughs has no historical precedent. When compared with previous industrial revolutions, the fourth is evolving at an exponential rather than a linear pace. Moreover, it is disrupting almost every industry in every country, and the breadth and depth of these changes herald the transformation of entire systems of production, management, and governance. So you said the man said the scope of the whole thing. It's not a little corner thing no more. The man are trying to have influence over almost all spheres. The velocity, the speed with which the change is coming, it's never before. It's unprecedented in history. You understand? And the systems impact. You understand? So money and all of these, food, agriculture, all of these things will be impacted. And I'm saying, Her Imperial Majesty tell us that white collar and blue collar jobs will vanish. So therefore now that leaves a fall, a shortfall. I would say the African Kingdoms Federation, through the life skills courses, which we demonstrate in the communication aspect of today, the communication formula. These life skill courses will better put us in a frame of mind, change our mindset to deal with the fallout of these things, because mental health seriously will be affected by these things or impacted by this thing. You understand? When you don't have a job, you understand how we are dealing? because where your job is redundant, there's a formula, artificial intelligence and them thing that take over your job, then you're gonna struggle to survive. You understand? I think I'm gonna do a third video because there's some things about the fourth industrial revolution where you need ones and ones to understand. You get me? So if it cut off in 11 minutes, you know, so I'm gonna do a third video because it's essential that we speak about these things, because it's not just the farmer or the banker alone is gonna be impacted by this. Every single living human being is coming under the scope of this fourth industrial revolution, and we're saying it can become a dangerous environment for some people. Some people who are preparing will be able to ride it out and adjust however not, but the majority, because this is a thing not being highlighted by the government, it caused me some concern, and this is why I'm doing this today. You understand? To raise your awareness of this reality and your affinity to it. Yes, and so that you can communicate a good response. If you catch what I'm dealing. Yeah. So this is the purpose of today. We said African Kingdoms Federation. We say we're best placed now to provide some form of solution to this dangerous environment that is the fourth industrial revolution. So again, through the my watch the clock, because a while ago it cut off at 11. You know, never really too like that. But yeah, we'll continue. So this communications formula, me presenting to you, I am the cause, right? It started me. You never come and say, come tell me about this thing. And me started. So me, I'm the cause. We say you're not right beside me, and you're not through the door. You're on the other side of a phone, on the side of a computer screen. So it's global, the distance that we're communicating over. You don't have to shout still. But you understand, say, I have to make sure I post it. And say you can download it and watch it and them thing there. So you know who are going to get my video. You are the effect. You are the recipient of the information I'm trying to transmit. You understand? And the information I'm trying to transmit is my intention towards you. You get me I'm dealing? But you know what no. I can have my intention, I have my information, I have me there so, you there over there so, me want to tell you something, I have my intention. You know, sorry, then your distance between me kind of not too far, but yeah. But before me can definitely make you understand or get you to receive my intention, if you get your attention, is that I come tap it on the shoulder or whatever not. Normally now, all this thing would have worked for you get my intention. For me get your attention digitally now. If you did subscribe to the channel, the notification bell would have go ping, and it just say alright then, Father Joe, Daddy Marcus TV, upload something more. You understand? So I get your attention. You understand? So it's like, okay, you have an intention to go fix somebody boiling in them house. Yeah, you reach at the door. Make them know say you're there, you go ring the bell. If you catch me dealing. Right. So that's the principle of this attention raising thing. So after me get my attention now, then me can try to execute my intention. You catch me? So yeah, boom, now me go in your house and me go fix your pipe. You understand? So we said today my intention is to speak about the fourth industrial revolution. And I'm reading an article from 2016 by the World Economic Forum, and it's outlining what the fourth industrial revolution is and how to try to deal with it. You understand? So by the time me finish read this article now, you supposed to know so well then this article was about the fourth industrial revolution. It wasn't about going on holidays. You understand how I deal it? So if you can say, if you heard my broadcast and you say, well then this man was talking about holidays, that means you never duplicate it. The only way we can know say you duplicate it is when you say, you know, I watched this broadcast by this brother and he was talking about the fourth industrial revolution. So you've duplicated it. Right. So you duplicate it now, that means you hear and know what the topic is. Then you can kind of faster understanding. You catch me deal? That means alright then. If you weren't aware what it was before, you know what it is now. and you also have an inclination of how it's going to impact your life. So that means that's your understanding. You must know, say it's not a joke thing, it's not something coming, it's something that is here. Also, we want to communicate to you that in response to this pending or this dangerous environment, the African Kingdoms Federation has a solution. And the basis of that solution starts with the deployment of these life skills. These life skills contain a course on communication. And this is what we're trying to demonstrate today. An aspect of the course is the communication formula. And by now you're supposed to understand again. That is the communication formula. I'm going to go over it again. I am the cause. I, the presenter, TFO Abba Tekil, Father Joe. I am the cause because I started this thing. Said I'm communicating to you over a large distance because it's over the internet. You in France, you in Belgium, you in Finland, you in Kingston, you in New York, you in South Africa, you in Addis Ababa. You can hear because that's the distance. That's the reach of this thing. You who are in these places watching this thing, you are the effect. You are the one receiving the information that I'm trying to convey. You get what I'm dealing? And the information I'm trying to convey is my intention. The information I'm talking about today is the fourth industrial revolution, what it is, and how to respond to it. You understand? Before I can communicate that intention to you, I have to get your attention. So as I say, you're supposed to, if you subscribe, you're supposed to boom, hear the notification bell. Say, yo, Daddy Marcus TV have something more. You understand? To give you a parallel scenario, if you're a plumber and you have a job to do in someone's house, when you get there, you basically have to ring the bell to get them attention to open the door. So that's the basis of attention. That is it's a simple thing. Yeah, it's like tapping somebody on the shoulder. That's getting somebody's attention. And that's an essential part of the formula. Without that, what I want to communicate to you, my intention, it can't really to go on, because alright then, it's a simple thing as well, you know. If you check it, you can take it a little deeper. So me and you in the same vicinity, the distance is not far. I have an intention to talk about the fourth industrial revolution. But your mindset is that you have some stress by your mind. You're sitting down, you're hearing me everything. But I don't have your intention, so you cannot duplicate what I'm saying. So if you catch me, it's not like your attention means you have to hear. Your attention means you have to focus. Yeah, because I'm sitting in your vicinity and I'm talking about this thing. But when I talk about, you're not really to penetrate that. So I don't have your attention. If me for stop and say you understand, you what you say? And you don't know. Yeah, so it go. So attention is pivotal, is crucial before anything can start out, because yeah, I'm gonna be left with my intention. I might have said everything that I wanted to say, but because I didn't gain your attention first, it went on deaf ears. If you catch me, really. So after you get your attention, then we can proceed with delivering my intention. So today the intention is to tell you about the fourth industrial revolution and what it entails and how to respond. I think it's a lengthy. It's not that long. This article from 2016 on the World Economic Forum website. But after you duplicate and understand what I'm talking about, then you can get an overstanding. You know can be you can now be the cause in another conversation, because now you're gonna replicate your understanding by starting a conversation with somebody else about this. Yeah, and the cycle, the formula, it go over again. Yes, you declare the distance between you and the recipient, which is the effect. Yeah, you have an intention to now tell them about this video that you watch. And then before you can actually start telling them that, you have to get them attention. Once you get them attention, you communicate your intention, and then now them have to duplicate what you said. That means that they make a copy of it. Them know full well what you're talking about. You're talking about the fourth industrial revolution and not cooking jerk chicken. if you understand. So when you duplicate it, you foster understanding, and the successful communication formula is complete. You can take it to another step and start a two-way cycle of communication that will kind of ensure how you do the duplication, make sure the duplication is going on. You understand? But we'll leave that part out of it for now. We'll concentrate on the communication formula. So now we're going to continue with the article. Yeah, it says, the possibilities of billions of people connected by mobile devices with unprecedented processing power, storage capacity, and access to knowledge are unlimited. And these possibilities will be multiplied by emerging technology breakthroughs in fields such as artificial intelligence, robotics, the Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, materials science, energy storage, and quantum computing. Now that's a whole lot of things. Yeah, things that stick out, artificial intelligence. This thing about algorithms and all of these things, you see a lot of things popping up nowadays talking about, okay, you can trade stocks. Just take this app and it will do the trading for you. That's artificial intelligence. Robotics, you know that. Well then, most car manufacturers, them have a lot of robotics in there. I used to deliver for Certec, who does it has a contract with Jaguar Land Rover, and I've been in the factory and at several locations I see robotic arms doing welding, all sort of thing. Yeah, so the thing real. The Internet of Things. Now the Internet of Things is not just the internet as we know it. It's a situation whereby the appliances that you put in your house, the white goods as them call them, the fridge, the washing machine, the blender, the toaster, all of these things gonna have a capacity to be hooked up on the internet. So a little bit of the art form part of it. If you remember this show with Will Smith, Enemy of the State, he walked into the plaza or the shopping mall and messages start coming to him telling him that his milk in the fridge going off and he need to change it. This is what the Internet of Things is about. Don't take it lightly, like I'm quoting from a movie, fiction. It's a real thing. I think there was a clip with Boris Johnson, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, speaking about these things. Alexa and all of these things. Autonomous vehicles. I would drive a lorry. It's like they've tried it already here in the UK, where you have this convoy of vehicles without no drivers, and they're testing it out to see how they respond, if they're safe. You understand? Yeah. 3D printing, even meat the 3D printing. You understand what I'm dealing? Meat, they're 3D printing meat. A whole meal. You go to the restaurant and you say, all right, this is what I want. And you put it in the thing and it print it out and you eat it. Well, them, no me. You understand? Nanotechnology now, this is like smart dust. You understand? Smart dust is like, it's a miniature robots in that size. You see it? Biotechnology now. Well, I want to stick it because somehow some people would want to say that these vaccines might fall into the biotechnology thing. Material science, I guess they're gonna make. I heard once that the the periodic table. The periodic table is incomplete, but it will be completed by the unearthing of new metals as well as man-made metals. So you know them are do them lab experiment and them as I said this can join with that and them are create something new. Yeah, that's material science as far as I may say. Energy storage. I move on from just simple, what I call that now, solar energy and the wind thing, all that. It threatens to, you know, be more impactful than that. Quantum computing, that means it, You know, computers work off a thing called random access memory. That's where most of the computation, they must say that part they know are gonna be so wide that it can do all sort of thing very quickly. So that's what the 5G technology is all about. You understand? Yeah, dealing. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue quickly. Reach 25 minutes. Normally a 31 or 30 it stop. He says, already artificial intelligence is all around us. From self-driving cars and drones to virtual assistants and software that translate or invest. Impressive progress has been made in artificial intelligence in recent years, driven by exponential increases in computing power and by the availability of vast amounts of data. From software used to discover new drugs to algorithms used to predict our cultural interests. Digital fabrication technologies, meanwhile, are interacting with the biological world on a daily basis. Engineers, designers, and architects are combining computational design, additive manufacturing, materials engineering, and synthetic biology to pioneer a symbiosis between microorganisms, our bodies, the products we consume, and even the buildings we inhabit. Trust me, the man and I leave no stone unturned. Yeah. This one go on to tell you about the challenges and opportunities. Like the revolutions that preceded it, the fourth industrial revolution has the potential to raise global income levels and improve the quality of life for populations around the world. To date, those who have gained the most from it have been consumers able to afford and access the digital world. Technology has made possible new products and services that increase the efficiency and pleasure of our personal lives. Ordering a cab, booking a flight, buying a product, making a payment, listening to music, watching a film, or playing a game, any of these can now be done remotely. In the future, technological innovation will also lead to a supply side miracle with long-term gains in efficiency and productivity. Transportation and communication costs will drop, logistics and global supply chains will become more effective, and the cost of trade will diminish, all of which will open new markets and drive economic growth. So these are the pluses. At the same time, as the economists Eric Brynjolfsson and Andrew McAfee have pointed out, the revolution could yield greater inequality, particularly in its potential to disrupt labor markets. This is the part where the African Kingdoms Federation come in. We say, with the life skills that we're deploying, if you take them on board, then it puts you in a position to be able to have a mindset to navigate this new reality. Yes, and these life skills will raise your affinity to the agenda of Project 7 Phoenix, which seeks to simultaneously develop Africa, you understand, and alleviate poverty globally, worldwide. So the driving force remains these life skills. And the life skills, I'm telling them, I'm demonstrating one of them today. As a matter of fact, every time I come on, I'm demonstrating it. But now I'm telling you how it goes in terms of the formula. Yes. And the communication formula, I said, you see here, presenting this information to you. I am the cause. I started it. Distance we're traveling over is over the internet. You understand? It's a great distance, global. You who are receiving this broadcast, you're the effect. You understand what I'm dealing? And then now, it was my intention to speak about the fourth industrial revolution. Before that, I had to get your attention. I played you some music. Yes. When I got your attention, I started reading this. Yeah? And so now, by me reading this and you hearing it, you should be duplicating it, knowing full well that I'm not speaking about restaurants. I'm speaking about the fourth industrial revolution, its impact, and how we can deal with it. Right now, I'm in the section that speaks about the challenges and opportunities. Yes. So after you hear the whole thing now, you say, all right, and I never heard about this before. but now I have an understanding, and that is the objective of successful communication. You understand? So that's the formula. So let's continue. We cannot foresee at this point which scenario is likely to emerge, and history suggests that the outcomes is likely to be some combination of the two. However, I am convinced of one thing, that in the future, talent, more than capital, will represent the critical factor of production. This will give rise to a job market increasingly segregated into low skill, low pay, and high skill, high pay segments, which in turn will lead to an increase in social tensions. You hear? So it's a potentially dangerous environment, and we say the life skills is part of the solution. Get on board with the life skill, it change your mindset. It kind of digitalize your thinking, it make it more strategic. If you catch me, I deal it. You know, have time for your wave about. You understand? It's like this is the formula to communicate. You have an intention to talk to somebody, you're not gonna no. The formula. You the cause, realize the distance where you need to communicate over, identify the effect, the person who you want to receive the information, and you have your intention set. Before you can get your intention across, you need to get them attention. You understand what I mean? When you get them attention, then you can start deliver your intention. You understand what I mean? When you deliver the intention, you must ascertain whether or not they're duplicating it. That means they're taking it on board. They're not saying you're talking about the sky when you're talking about the sea. You understand what I'm dealing? Once you get that duplication, yeah, you can foster understanding, and the formula is complete. You have successful communication. So these life skills, the other day I told you about the dynamics of existence. All of these things happening in the dynamics of existence. So the whole life skills package, they're interrelated. And I'm telling you, the reason why we're saying get on board with them is the reality that we're facing. The fourth industrial revolution. Things ain't gonna be the same like it was before. So we have to get these things out of our minds. You understand me? There is a new reality. And we have to raise our affinity with that new reality. And the life skills is the course, the set of courses that will get your mindset on par with what's happening, to be able to navigate and arrive at a solution to this dangerous environment. Tell you full well, say, in this 14th industrial revolution, we don't have time for people to be hooked on drugs. Yeah? The crime thing where people get up and say, all right, then I'm going to try to succeed by committing crime. It's like, those things are going to be kind of eliminated and restricted, you know. Obviously, yes, it must be a new type of crime. But this thing, mugging in the street and all of these things, and drugs selling all of these things, you understand that the reality is going to challenge that. That ain't a bad thing. You understand? Mankind really and truly, I mean, enough resources on the earth to go around. Africa is like the bedrock of some of the greatest natural resources on the earth, you know? So there's a lot to go around. They're speaking about depopulation because they were overcrowded with 7 to 8 billion people on the planet, and estimate that it will reach 9 and 10 soon, with Africa rising in terms of, yes, Africa is the youngest continent, really. You understand? So our future, set to impact this thing significantly. But we have to be able to provide employment for our youths. And this is what we're saying. Through these life skills, we're able to now structure our population's response to this reality. Now there are aspects of it that we're gonna take on board, and aspects of it we have to just navigate around because it's not to our advantage. You understand where it is? So I'm gonna continue reading this article. It says, in addition to being a key economic concern, inequality represents the greatest societal concern associated with the fourth industrial revolution. The largest beneficiaries of innovation tend to be the providers of intellectual and physical capital. the innovators, shareholders, and investors, which explains the rising gap in wealth between those dependent on capital versus labor. Technology is therefore one of the main reasons why incomes have stagnated or even decreased for a majority of the population in high income countries. The demand for highly skilled workers has increased, while the demand for workers with less education and lower skills has decreased. Now that's a point I want to take you on there now. Workers with less education. We at the African Kingdoms Federation, we don't segregate. We say once you pass through the life skills and you get your evaluation, yeah, you're in prime position to be able to participate in the economy that we are building. You understand the idea? So no division, no segregation, no discrimination. The common ground is the life skills. You understand the idea? That is the thing. The key to the whole response, the key to the whole solution, life skills. Get your life skills training done. You understand the idea? Just check me. Drop a line in the comment section and say, okay, I'm interested in it, and I'll direct you where. You understand? We have WhatsApp groups in several countries that deal with the deployment of these life skills to make sure you have an understanding of it, because it's not just passing and getting an evaluation. After that stage, you must consistently demonstrate that these life skills are embedded in you. You understand? So you automatically can speak on autopilot. As I said, today I'm concentrating on the communications formula as one course, one aspect of one course in the life skills. But my intention is to communicate about the fourth industrial revolution. So I was reading the article, I reached a point in it where I had to stop and clarify our position here at the African Kingdoms Federation. So let me continue with this paragraph. It ends. One more sentence. The result is a job market with a strong demand at the high and low ends, but a hollowing out of the middle. So it's like polarities. It's one extreme to the other, and the middle ground non-existent. So the gap between rich and poor is set to increase. So this is where I say get your life skill training. Don't be left out into the wilderness wondering where you're gonna find food for your children. Get this thing inside of you. Get your mind set, altered, transformed to face the new reality. You understand? This helps explain why so many workers are disillusioned and fearful that their own real incomes and those of their children will continue to stagnate. It also helps explain why middle classes around the world are increasingly experiencing a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction and unfairness. A winner-takes-all economy that offers only limited access to the middle class is a recipe for democratic malaise and dereliction. So these men are telling you that this thing is a dangerous environment. Even the middle class that was depended on to drive economies across the world, they are going to get rid of them. Basic. This fourth industrial revolution will impact it so that it's non-existent really. Discontent can also be fueled by the pervasiveness of digital technologies and the dynamics of information sharing typified by social media. More than 30% of the global population now use social media platforms to connect, learn, and share information. In an ideal world, these interactions would provide an opportunity for cross-cultural understanding and cohesion. However, they can also create and propagate unrealistic expectations as to what constitutes success for an individual or a group, as well as other opportunities for extreme ideas and ideologies to spread. You catch me idea? We see that now in terms of like with the vaccine, they're saying anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists are bombarding the internet with what the status quo does not want to be spread around. So they call it disinformation, and they say this is a threat. You understand? So automatically, I'm in charge of something and I've identified that this is a possible threat. At some point in time, I'm gonna be trying to formulate a response to overcome that threat or nullify that threat. So watch that space. This section is called the impact on business. An underlying theme in my conversations with global CEOs and senior business executives is that the acceleration of innovation and the velocity of disruption are hard to comprehend or anticipate, and that these drivers constitute a source of constant surprise, even for the best connected and most well informed. Indeed, across all industries, there is clear evidence that the technologies that underpin the fourth industrial revolution are having a major impact on businesses. On the supply side, many industries are seeing the introduction of new technologies that create entirely new ways of serving existing needs and significantly disrupt existing industry value chains. Disruption is also flowing from agile, innovative competitors who, thanks to access to global digital platforms for research, development, marketing, sales, and distribution, can oust well established incumbents faster than ever by improving the quality, speed, or price at which value is delivered. Major shifts on the demand side are also occurring as growing transparency, consumer engagement, and new patterns of consumer behavior, increasingly built upon access to mobile networks and data, force companies to adapt the way they design, market, and deliver products and services. A key trend is the development of technology enabled platforms that combine both demand and supply to disrupt existing industry structures, such as those we see within the sharing or on-demand economy. So the sharing economy is like Airbnb and Uber. Yeah, there's no ownership. Yeah, you share it. So instead of you buy a car, you use a Uber and share it to whosoever in there with you. Airbnb, yeah, you just go and you book a room somewhere. You understand? That's sharing economy. These technology platforms, rendered easy to use by the smartphone, convene people, assets, and data, thus creating entirely new ways of consuming goods and services in the process. In addition, they lower the barriers for businesses and individuals to create wealth, altering the personal and professional environments of workers. So this is social media, when you've got your channel on Instagram relative to the amount of views and subscribers you have, then you have a chance to make money by putting your products out there on these platforms. So this is what they're speaking about. These new platform businesses are rapidly multiplying into many new services, ranging from laundry to shopping, from chores to parking, from massages to travel. On the whole, there are four main effects that the fourth industrial revolution has on business: on customer expectations, on product enhancement, on collaborative innovation, and organizational forms. Now, the organizational forms is the one that threatens the labor market. That's all right. And organizational forms will mean like, okay, you can work from home in it because it's digital, but the number of people needed and the skills needed, because the work environment is going to be backed up with AI, artificial intelligence, with the algorithms. Have you not seen Sophie the robot addressing this conference? It's the artificial intelligence with a human like appearance. Yeah, this is what's happening. And what they're saying is they want artificial intelligence to have a place on the boards in these companies. So like the board with the chairman and all the directors and all of these things, one of the directors is gonna be an artificial intelligence agent. You understand? So here we go. On the whole, there are four main effects. Okay, I've read that bit. Sorry. Whether consumers or businesses, customers are increasingly at the epicenter of the economy, which is all about improving how customers are served. Physical products and services, moreover, can now be enhanced with digital capabilities that increase their value. New technologies make assets more durable and resilient, while data and analytics are transforming how they are maintained. A world of customer experiences, data-based services, and asset performance through analytics, meanwhile, requires new forms of collaboration, particularly given the speed at which innovation and disruption are taking place. And the emergence of global platforms and other new business models finally means that talent, culture, and organizational forms will have to be rethought. So this is what the people are saying is gonna affect all spheres of our lives. So non-participation seems like it's not an option. The environment will be I don't want to say infested, but it's gonna be embedded with this technology. You understand? So, like me as a Rasta man now, I don't think it's gonna be feasible now for Gus and up in the hills. You know? Because the man them come in on the hill. If you catch me dealing. So if something is a threat to you, you need to interact with it to see how best you can overcome it. That's just logical. I don't think you can do this thing where you're gonna bury your head in the sand and leave your body out like the ostrich. It's not gonna happen. You understand what we're dealing? Yeah, I'm watching the time because I want to get over a lot of things. So let me finish or read another section of this. Overall, the inexorable shift from simple digitization, the third industrial revolution, to innovation based on combinations of technologies, the fourth industrial revolution, is forcing companies to re-examine the way they do business. The bottom line, however, is the same. Business leaders and senior executives need to understand their changing environment, challenge the assumptions of their operating teams, and relentlessly and continuously innovate. So it's like, as they're saying, the speed at which these technologies are coming, you need to be changing a thing quick. So you adjust it. So basically, if you had an idea of the whole picture, you would know that okay, this is where it's gonna go, and these are the stages to get there. So then your planning can be a bit more strategic instead of being responsive. You understand? So reactive. So like something come and you have to go now and you have to spend a portion of money again to get up to date with that technology. And then by the time you implement the facilities to deal with that level of technology, more technology come, you have to go rethink your thing again. And yeah, so it potentially, as I say, is a dangerous environment if you don't know how to navigate. And I'm saying at the African Kingdoms Federation, the basis of your response must be the undertaking of these life skills. It transforms your mindset. I'm engaging a transformational coach who do these things on a professional basis. They charge for these things. But we at the African Kingdoms Federation, we don't charge for these courses. What happens is that we deploy them and you embed them in yourselves, practice them, make sure they're part of your lives, and you demonstrate that is so, and you have an opportunity to be employed or work in the African Kingdoms Federation, not just as TFOs or whatever, but as somebody who can be employed as part of a system, because the African Kingdoms Federation uses these life skills to orient people's minds to the Project 7 Phoenix agenda, which says we're gonna simultaneously develop all of Africa and eradicate poverty globally. Challenging, knowing full well that this fourth industrial revolution, the reality that we are facing now, has little affinity with the labor market as it was before. Yeah, so we need to communicate that. And we say within communication, there's a formula. Yeah, there's a formula. This formula starts with person who initiates the exchange of information. That's me, the cause. Yeah, you realize the distance that you have to communicate over. So you adjust your tone, your pitch, or whatever. And this platform now, we're going digital, going global. So then we have to make sure that the video is up to standard or whatever, not, and it can be downloaded over these distances. You who will receive the information, you are the effect, you're the recipient. You understand? So, all right, then I have an intention, I have information to speak to you about, and this is about the fourth industrial revolution. That's the topic today. But the backdrop of it is this communications formula. In each situation that there's a communication, these things are taking place. We just didn't identify them. And so for you to be more strategic and forceful in your communication, if you have that formula embedded in you, you'll be more effective and successful at communicating. So yeah, that's the intention. Before I can communicate that intention, I need to have your attention. Today I tried to gain your attention by playing you some music first. I always do that. That's my format. You understand? So having gotten your attention by the music that's relevant to the topic, I can now proceed to transfer my intention to you. When I've done that, what needs to happen from your side is that you duplicate what I've said. So I'm speaking about the fourth industrial revolution. You can't leave here and said we were speaking about jerk chicken on the corner. That's not what we're talking about. You must know that we were speaking about the fourth industrial revolution. Once you know that you've duplicated that, we can now get to a point where we'll complete the formula and gain successful communication by your understanding. And then you know from your understanding, you can initiate another conversation and become the cause, right? And the whole formula start again. Boom. So let's do this now. Do you know which part will stop? Which part will stop? Ultimately, the ability of government systems and public authorities to adapt will determine their survival. Let me read that again. Ultimately, the ability of government systems and public authorities to adapt will determine their survival. Survival is the reason, is the basis of the dynamics of existence. The 8 dynamics of existence, your objective is to survive. And so this reality that we're facing is no different. You need to be able to survive. And we're saying a tool to aid your survival, the life skills. 19 courses. Get them done. Get them done. Get them embedded in you so that you can now form part of a nucleus or a caucus that can navigate this reality. Yeah, and raise your affinity to survival. You understand me? I'm dealing. Yeah, because that's the essence of the reality, for you to survive. So if you can't survive, then say you're not doing something right. So alright, if they prove capable of embracing a world of disruptive change, subjecting their structures to the levels of transparency and efficiency that will enable them to maintain their competitive edge, they will endure. If they cannot evolve, they will face increasing trouble. So it's do or die type of thing. This will be particularly true in the realm of regulation. Current systems of public policy and decision making evolved alongside the second industrial revolution, when decision makers had time to study a specific issue and develop the necessary response or appropriate regulatory framework. The whole process was designed to be linear and mechanistic, following a strict top-down approach. But such an approach is no longer feasible. Given the fourth industrial revolution's rapid pace of change and broad impacts, legislators and regulators are being challenged to an unprecedented degree and for the most part are proving unable to cope. So there now this man is showing you that there is a need for artificial intelligence. This when I read this is what I'm getting from him. He's trying to placate a need for artificial intelligence, and he's pointing to failures in man, and that brings about one aspect of the fourth industrial revolution that perhaps will prove very controversial, and it's this whole school of thought called transhumanism, right? So because of our incapabilities, we will be augmented by digital devices. They're making reasons for it. Right, this is what the man's saying. How then can they preserve the interest of the consumers and the public at large while continuing to support innovation and technological development? By embracing agile governance, just as the private sector has increasingly adopted agile responses to software development and business operations more generally. This means regulators must continuously adapt to a new, fast-changing environment, reinventing themselves so they can truly understand what it is they are regulating. To do so, governments and regulatory agencies will need to collaborate closely with business and civil society. There again, I see another threat. So this means, therefore, that democracy is under threat. Because where there was this separation of the entities, they're merging them, basically. So now, normally when that happens in Africa, they call it corruption. But now it's gonna be it's gonna be a hallmark of the fourth industrial revolution. The governments seems like it's saying governments it's not gonna be as existent as it was before. The fourth industrial revolution will also profoundly impact the nature of national and international security, affecting both the probability and the nature of conflict. So these people are preparing for war. The history of warfare and international security is the history of technological innovation, and today is no exemption. Yes, the other day they had a conference. Last year they had a conference. Oh, in 2022, yeah, 2021 they had a conference, international conference, where they were deliberating about allowing robot soldiers onto the battlefield. So when you're on the battlefield as a robot soldier, then I think one aspect of it, will they allow them to kill humans? In the first place, they shouldn't be there, but we're here. So, boy, I mean, I know, yeah, man. Anyway, we say the life skills. This is the initial step to fostering a solution to this dangerous environment. Get your life skills done. Get in touch with the African Kingdoms Federation. All over the globe, there is a diplomatic mission everywhere. Yes? Search and find your diplomatic mission wherever you are and get your life skills training done. It is the essence of survival in the fourth industrial revolution. Modern conflicts involving states are increasingly hybrid in nature, combining traditional battlefield techniques with elements previously associated with non-state actors. The distinction between war and peace, combatant and non-combatant, and even violence and non-violence, I think cyber warfare, is becoming uncomfortably blurry. Yeah, so you can't really distinguish them. This is what man is saying. So, as as this process takes place and new technologies such as autonomous or biological weapons become easier to use, individuals and small groups will increasingly join states in being capable of causing mass harm. They're basically saying what they're giving man the potential to do is destroy himself. And it's not just like, oh, a set of gorilla or a nation state with its army. Individuals, you can purchase a lot of things on the internet, war or warfare related technologies on the internet. It's serious thing. These drones that you see flying around, they can start arming them, you know. Yeah, it's not a joke. It's all right. Okay, this new vulnerability will lead to new fears. But at the same time, advances in technology will create the potential to reduce the scale or impact of violence through the deployment of new modes of protection, for example, or greater precision in targeting. So they're not curtailing their power to cause harm. They're saying they're increasing their power to cause harm, but they're gonna be careful about it. Now here we go. This is the crucial part. This is where me and you come in. We're going for an hour. I hope it is going for an hour and not misleading me. So alright then. The fourth industrial revolution will change not only what we do, but also who we are. It will affect our identity and all the issues associated with it, our sense of privacy, our notions of ownership, our consumption patterns, the time we devote to work and leisure, and how we develop our careers, cultivate our skills, meet people, and nurture relationships. I don't know about you, but yeah. I'm glad I've started my life skills courses. It puts me in a frame of mind, gives me a mindset to understand the challenges that been put towards us with this and to be able to respond. I've got children. I will die and leave them. I need to prep them to be able to survive in an environment that's gonna be changing even more rapidly. You understand? So it's not just about you or you live your life. Oh, I'm 60 now and I'm soon dead. So I'm gonna really do business. You have children. You're gonna have grandchildren. You need to be able to set their mindset so that they can survive after you've left, or else your legacy is no more. You understand me? It is already changing our health and leading to a quantified self. And sooner than we think, it may lead to human augmentation. This list is endless because it is bound only by our imagination. This is the part I'm talking about, this transhumanism. Now, there's a professor at Oxford University, Professor Nick Bostrom. He's the main proponent of this transhumanism business. Yeah, and tell you what, when he put forward this thing, he analyzed and said that the main threat to this agenda is whether or not they survive to implement it. And so his major concern, primary concern, is global security. So that means that they're preparing to arm themselves to put this agenda into place. You understand what we are dealing? So this is how serious these people are. I am a great enthusiast and early adopter of technology, but sometimes I wonder whether the inexorable integration of technology in our lives could diminish some of our quintessential human capacities, such as compassion and cooperation. Our relationship with our smartphones is a case in point. Constant connection may deprive us of one of life's most important assets, the time to pause, reflect, and engage in meaningful conversation. You tell me what you understand by that, because all I'm saying to you, get your life skills done. Contact the African Kingdoms Federation Diplomatic Mission wherever you are and get signed up to get your life skills done. You need to regulate how you approach life. It can't be as sporadic as it was before. It needs to be strategic, your mindset. You understand? One of the greatest individual challenges posed by new information technologies is privacy. We instinctively understand why it is so essential, yet the tracking and sharing of information about us is a crucial part of the new connectivity. Debates about fundamental issues such as the impact on our inner lives of the loss of control over our data will only intensify in the years ahead. Similarly, the revolutions occurring in biotechnology and artificial intelligence, which are redefining what it means to be human by pushing back the current thresholds of lifespan, health, cognition, and capabilities, will compel us to redefine our moral and ethical boundaries. Now, this is without even reading this is one of the things I deliberated about. And so when I've intimated to some people that I want to put human rights on a front footing in terms of engaging people within a concept of social betterment, it's like this fourth industrial revolution will force you to say, what does it really mean to be human? I mean, there are international covenants relating to the human genome, but does it go far enough to then define properly what we will have when we have augmented humans? Will they be considered humans? These are questions we have to ask, you know? Right, so I think we reached the last set of this thing now, the last section. It says shaping the future. So remember, we're dealing with the fourth industrial revolution, what it is and how to respond. And we said the backdrop of that, we're trying to get riveted in your mind this communication formula. So this communication formula starts with me, the person who starting this conversation. I am the cause. Pardon. I'm communicating to you through the internet, so that's a large distance. It's global. You who are receiving the information and the broadcast, you're the recipient. What's that? Do you remember? You're the effect, right? Yeah. So I'm the cause and you're the effect, and we're communication over global distance through the internet. I have an intention. My intention is to inform you about the fourth industrial revolution. Before I can do so, I need to raise your attention. I played some music relevant to the topic to gain your attention. After I've gained your attention, I proceeded to start reading this article. This is my intention. You understand? When I've completed it, it is hoped that you can duplicate what I've said in terms of not being disoriented about what I was talking about. I was talking about the fourth industrial revolution. I wasn't speaking about jerking chicken on the corner. You understand? So when you duplicate my intention, then that will foster an understanding. And then you can start a communication cycle for yourself, employing the communication formula. You know who were the effect can now become the cause. Right. But you're gonna tell somebody new, innit? Right. So we say this reality of the fourth industrial revolution to gain affinity with it, and to be able to survive on all the dynamics of existence, get your life skills done. Wherever you are in the world, find your African Kingdoms Federation diplomatic mission and get signed up to do your life skills courses. This is the basis of the response to navigate ourselves and provide a solution for the dangerous environment, which is the fourth industrial revolution. So, shaping the future. Neither technology nor the disruption that comes with it is an exogenous force over which humans have no control. All of us are responsible for guiding its evolution. In the decisions we make on a daily basis as citizens, consumers, and investors, we should thus grasp the opportunity and power we have to shape the fourth industrial revolution and direct it toward a future that reflects our common objectives and values. So, it is incumbent on our participation. That's key. Listen to that. Think on that. And I said to participate, you need the life skills because your mindset needs to be oriented towards this reality, fostering greater affinity to your survival. Not just the reality, you need to have a greater affinity to your survival. This is the key. You understand? And how you correspond with that, or how you communicate with that reality, and your affinity to survival is how you will respond. You understand? And the same life skills, the basis of your response. To do this, however, we must develop a comprehensive and globally shared view of how technology is affecting our lives and reshaping our economic, social, cultural, and human environments. There has never been a time of greater promise or one of greater potential peril. Today's decision makers, however, are too often trapped in traditional linear thinking or too absorbed by the multiple crises demanding their attention to think strategically about the forces of disruption and innovation shaping our future. In the end, it all comes down to people and values. We need to shape a future that works for all of us by putting people first and empowering them. In its most pessimistic, dehumanized form, the fourth industrial revolution may indeed have the potential to robotize humanity and thus to deprive us of our heart and soul. Talk about out of the horse's mouth, brethren. But as a complement to the best parts of human nature, creativity, empathy, stewardship, it can also lift humanity into a new collective and moral consciousness based on a shared sense of destiny. It is incumbent on us all to make sure the latter prevails. The author of this was Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, that is pushing this agenda of the fourth industrial revolution. And you heard it. It didn't sound like a cakewalk to me. It didn't sound like a stroll to the beach to me. It didn't sound like the way I used to think in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. I don't think I can be able to apply that mindset anymore. My thing needs to be like structured in a way to encounter these changes, these rapid changes, and not fluctuate in terms of like what my core morals and ethics are. You understand the idea? Because they're saying it can impact it. It can deprive us of our heart and soul. How? How? You know? I mean, your soul is one of the most permanent aspects of the creation. It's immortal. It's immortal. You understand? And if that is under threat, then the scope of what these people are thinking Yeah, you must know the reality is not normal. You understand? Immediately, and your affinity to survival. So this is the reality. What you need to foster is a greater affinity to survival. You understand me? Dealing. You don't need to like what's happening. You need to ensure that you can survive. Yes, I understand me? Dealing. And that's how you communicate to the reality. You communicate with this fourth industrial revolution from a position of great affinity to survive. And that affinity to survive will be demonstrated by you taking these life skills courses, regulating your mindset. Let me tell you, your heart and soul is there. The man saying the fourth industrial revolution can deprive us of it. That means your thinking towards your survival needs to be strategic, and it needs to be able to respond to every change coming. Else you're gonna suffer. We don't want you to suffer, so we at the African Kingdom Federation are saying, come and get your life skills courses done. Get your mindset in tune. Yeah. Think never leave. Well, that's the end of it. There's more in terms of like other articles on it. And what I'm in the process of doing is compiling something so that then I can take this to another level, a greater platform, because we are in the fourth industrial revolution, but there is a lack of government information about it. So it's just happening, but they're not telling you it's happening. So we at the African Kingdom Federation, we're saying, okay, this is it. It is happening, and this is how to respond. How to respond in the initial stages? Get your life skills training done. You understand what I'm dealing? So that was our topic today. I hope you can duplicate it, and I hope it fosters your understanding to complete the formula for communication. Let me go over the formula once again. It starts with me, the cause. I am the one that initiated this thing. I brought the idea to you. Now we're communicating over the internet. It goes global, so it's a great distance. Some of you might be in the same house, but you now watch from on the internet. Yeah? Right. That's the distance. You know who are receiving it, you are the effect. Yes? You're the recipient of the information that I want to convey. The information that I want to convey is my intention. And my intention today was to inform you of the fourth industrial revolution. Right? Before I could give you my intention, I had to be able to raise your attention. Right? I tried to do that by playing some songs with that theme in mind. So I got your attention that way. Once I played the songs, got in the mood thinking about things, then I started to convey my intention to you. Right? Here discussing the formula for communication. And I've communicated my intention to you. You should be able to duplicate it. You should understand that we were speaking about the fourth industrial revolution and not jerking chicken. Once you have duplicated that, then it should foster your understanding for you to now go and be able to inform somebody. Have the intention to pass on that information to another person who becomes the effect now, and you become the cause. Yeah. I hope the amount of times I repeated this makes you now more aware of a formula. So when you are communicating to someone, you take notice of the steps that you take in this communication process, and to be able to identify success or what it takes to have successful communication. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. Yeah, so you hear about the fourth industrial revolution. I'll come with more information. I don't want it to seem like it's all doom and gloom. But at this instance, at this juncture, we need to adapt our mindset to this reality and align it with greater affinity to our survival. And with that affinity to our survival, This is how we will communicate with our reality. Yeah, I have been Father Joe, the ghetto diplomat, TFO Abba Tekil. Thanks for giving me your attention. Sorry, blessed love. I say thanks and praises continue to the Most High. Yeah, and say give thanks to the vision of Her Imperial Majesty Empress Sheba Deborah Kasumsura III, the Queen of Sheba, the Queen of the South, the Imperial Matriarch of Africa. And I said, under the instruction and tutelage of my commanding officer, Crown Executive Minister of African Kingdom Affairs, Her Excellency Lady Marlene, Sir. Yeah, on behalf of the whole African Kingdoms Federation, we wish you one in light. Blessings. Rastafari.